I will make a quick resume for my thoughts about communism for people who counted me or thinking that I am communist for myself. Personally, I don't think that communism will work out in the long run. Socialism can work. Socialism can work in advance for the people, but communism could not work in current conditions, at least. It's very, very hard concept to admit for communists, of course, but capitalists can understand at least understood some basic points of why am I think that communism will not work. The problem is that today most of the people in the world working in service jobs, service bullshit jobs. Mostly the managers, coffee makers, bartenders, whores, I don't know, waitress, etc., etc., etc. Even if communist society will produce something that will make all those people employed and working at fabrics, farms, etc., etc., some production facilities, factories, etc., it means that either you will have to force people to work and do the job they not capable for, not made for, but no matter how many people you will employ in production facilities and production structures, the service industry will not go anywhere. And the basic problem of capitalist society, inequality and need to serve to someone will stay, and it will bring another form of inequality. It's not inequality itself. It will make a psychological pressure on people who serve for other people, who producing something, doing something, etc., etc. How can you make all the people believe that they are doing their part, that they are doing their fair share, they put in their fair share, or they doing it their services not because they poorly educated, bad in their abilities, etc. And you cannot make people think that they are just as good as other people in society, because those people would serve for other people. And it's a basic problem of some communist idea that living in heads of the communists today. They can't, not only they can't understand this problem, they can't even face that there will be such a problem. They don't interested in solving the problems that will come with the communism. That bullshit jobs that people who employ today in the jobs that produce nothing, that do nothing, just simply going to work and simply consuming the money that governments producing continuously through the inflation, through the devaluation of national currencies. If you took all that away, all of a sudden you get like, I don't know, 60-70% of the people who doing the bullshit jobs, who don't do any real work, who don't produce anything, etc. And most of them working in service, in services, in all kind of shapes of services, hotels, tourism, recreation, or in general, the business. Maybe even horse, something like bars, bartenders, waitresses, restaurants. Restaurants is very competitive environment, and if you will produce the restaurant restaurant chain that totally working under the control of the government, could you resume, or could you make that those restaurants will be just as competitive as today? Would they put their standards at the same level, or will equalize them to some middle ground? And I'm absolutely sure that there will be the restaurants that will stay in high class capacity, or stay in high class, just high class. So such restaurants, such cafes, such some recreational places would have to employ the people as waitresses, cleaners, and you know, the general staff, lower level cooks, etc. And those people will be working just as hard as today in restaurants. It means the very, very hard, strong, competitive business that have no mercy. So those people would not be equal employees of the same facility that they like own, quote unquote, because in communism, you know, the worker owned the share, or just like he co-owner of the facility that he is working. She doesn't matter. He is working. So would it be possible to not create inequality in human conditions and general understanding of themselves, of the people themselves? Would be people able to understand the problem, to address the problem, and to solve the problem? Today, it's the biggest problem of communist idea, that communists think that if they simply solve the crisis altogether, they simply devalue the problem of the crisis that capitalism producing today, reduce inequality, or eliminate it altogether by abolishing the private property. And if the people would own everything, they think this will solve everything, every problem of the world that based on inequality, based on not fair conditions, etc. They will solve it, everything. So that means that communists don't address the biggest problem, that we don't have the jobs enough for all the people. Today, in China solely, people simply working at farms, just like serfs in, just like they were working in, I don't know, 100, 150 or 200 years ago. Nothing changed for, I don't know, 700 million. How many people in China do you think raised from poverty? It's something like 700 million. It means that another 700 million live in shitty slave-like conditions. And they continue. And there is no way that Chinese government can raise their standards of living. The same shit happened in India. The same shit happened in Africa. It's already some like 4 billion people who don't have another job, just like working the rest off on the ground, in the field, producing food. Maybe robbing, maybe, I don't know, doing something like blah, blah, blah. Well, 100, maybe 100 million people can be like occupied with government jobs, police, criminal, etc., etc. But majority of those 4 billion people, and Latin America doing the same, 4 billion fucking people, doing the job they did, I don't know, 200 years ago. Nothing changed for them, like literally nothing. It means that we don't have the jobs for such people. We don't have the jobs for all those people. And this problem could not be solved. Yeah, we can build socialism in one single country, or maybe create a socialist bloc of countries that will be populated with, I don't know, 200, 300, 500 maybe million of people. That's it. That's it. A period. That's where it ends. We cannot employ any more people. And it was in developing socialism. In socialism that only on the way, not fully developed, not fully established. We could employ in some shape or form some 400-500 million people. What we're going to do with the rest? How are we going to address the problem? And today, it used to were that robots did not do any jobs. Automatization wasn't so perfect, just like today. And we don't need it. We don't need today as much factory workers, farm workers as we used to. We simply don't need them. And where we go, and where all those people will go? No one addressing this problem, and this is shitty. It's a problem that will arise with time, and it have no solution. It have no real solution. That's my beef with communism. I don't think it's gonna work. I am not a communist. I believe that with good leadership, just as Stalin was, just as Lenin was, with good leadership, socialism will do a better job, much more better job for the people in the world. But not communism. Communism is still utopia, at least for now. There always place for improvement, and maybe someone will do something and will address the problems, will solve them, etc. Maybe, possibly. But I just can see how communists can solve this problem. So that's my problem with communism. That's why I can be communist. I can't. I was raised in capitalism. All my life I lived in capitalism. I am capitalist. I want to live in capitalism and I want to die in capitalism. Period. I don't need no communism for me. For the people who will come after me, sure, 100%. Socialism is way better for the working people. But not for me, please. As I already said in one video. Communism, not in my lifetime, please.